Joining us now to discuss, former acting Secretary of Homeland Security, Chad Wolf. Mr. Wolf, I wanted to talk to you a second. You wrote a column talking about the border is shifting from a manufactured crisis to a national embarrassment. And I kind of wanted to get your feel. What do you mean by a manufactured crisis? And then go on further to describe why you think it's turned into an embarrassment.
Sure. I think what we talk about a manufactured crisis on Inauguration Day, the Trump administration gave the Biden administration a secure border and enough policies and programs in place, what we call a network of policies, to address COVID, to address the illegal activity that we saw along that border. And what they did over the course of just a couple of weeks shortly after inauguration was they systematically rescinded those policies. And so when we talk about a manufactured crisis, it was a crisis completely of their making at the end of the day. There was nothing new that occurred from 2020 to 2021 that caused this increase in migrants that we see approaching the border and crossing the border every day. It's simply they took away a number of these policies that provided that deterrence or provided that enforcement that are no longer in place today. And so we've seen it increasingly get worse month after month. February was worse than January, March worse than February, and it goes on and on and on. And at this point, we're 6 months into this. They keep talking about a strategy that they're implementing. If there is a strategy, very few people know what it is. It's not working. And so I talk about it turning from a manufactured crisis, which they created, into a national embarrassment. When you have over 200,000 illegal apprehensions in one 30-day period, in 1 month alone, that is unheard of. It's astronomical numbers that we have. That is the second worst month on record ever that we are seeing. And so there needs to be a new strategy. There needs to be a new way forward when we talk about securing that border today.
You know, but yet at the same time, it seems to be that the administration is doubling down on some things, because we had just last night, in the middle of the night, Senator Ted Cruz, who offered this amendment that would have ensured that the Department of Homeland Security continued to expel illegal immigrants under the Title 42 to protect Americans in the spread of COVID-19. I know that that was another concern that you had in the op-ed that you wrote there. But yet that did not pass.
Well, again, what we see from this administration is there's a lot of talk and very little follow through. They talk about Title 42 and using Title 42, except they've exempted all minors from Title 42. They have essentially said since Inauguration Day that if you are a minor, so if you are 17 years old or 16 years old and you're coming into this country, you will not be removed. There's almost no circumstance in which you will be removed from this country. And so guess what? We have a rush and a surge of the number of minors coming into this country than we've ever seen before. And it's not rocket science. You don't have to be a genius to figure this out, other than to know that the administration is not fully enforcing Title 42 as they should with minors. And they're also not doing it with family units as well. And guess what? We've seen astronomical numbers of family units, I believe over 40,000 in the month of June alone, maybe a little higher than that. And so there's a direct result of not implementing the law, not using all the tools at your disposal. And the cartels know this, and they take advantage of it, and they advertise to it, and they exploit it. And that's what we're seeing on the border today. Shame on us. We knew that they would do this. We saw them do this in 2018. In 2019, we warned against the Biden administration taking many of these measures, and unfortunately, it's come to fruition.
Yeah, we're out of time, Mr. Wolf, but I wanted to point out something you point out. 50,000 illegal immigrants have been allowed into the U.S. without even a date to show up in court, and of those who do get dates, only 13% are showing up. So this is a real mess. You pointed it out. The op-ed, very powerful, a lot of great statistics in it. Mr. Wolf, thank you so much for joining us.
Can we ask one other question, though, since we brought it up at the very beginning, and I didn't hear you answer this? Do you think that Secretary Mayorkas should be impeached?
Well, I do think there needs to be new leadership, because not only are they not enforcing the laws, but once you lose the trust of law enforcement officers within the Department of Homeland Security, it's very difficult to do your job at the end of the day. And I think that's what's occurring, because this crisis is falling on them. They have to deal with this day in and day out. and they know that it didn't need to occur. And every time that the administration says the border is closed and the border is secure, they know that that is not true. And so they have lost confidence in the leadership.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us.